The commandments that God gave Moses on Mount Sinai, they not only addressed the shortcomings or the things that would create shortcomings in God's relationship with humanity, but it also showed us the shortcomings in the relationships that already existed man to man or in humanity at large. I say that to address this because one of those commandments addresses this key factor here in Proverbs chapter 1, verse 19. When it talks about in the commandments that a man should not covet what belongs to his neighbor's wife, neighbor's cattle, or any of his neighbor's possessions. Watch the teaching point here. A man's greed becomes dangerous when his greed, his desire for gain becomes so overwhelming that he's willing to take something that belongs to someone else. You cannot read this verse of scripture without analyzing the world and the economy that we live in right now. And I know this may fluster a few feathers here and there, but we have to look at what the Bible is teaching us. And I have to keep reminding you, who's writing this? The man who penned these words is a man who has great wealth, great material value. But nonetheless, he says, but you cannot allow your wealth to drive you to greed. Oh, wow. My possessions cannot drive me to the demand for more. You see, truthfully spoken, many of us, perhaps most of us, have the measure of what we need. What we lack is what we want. Okay, let me put it this way. Now, it would be great to be able to say that I have $1 million in the bank. And I don't, by the way, just for, practical points and purposes. We'll make sure nobody misunderstands that. I don't have $1 million in the bank. It would be great to have it, but I don't have it. But you know what's also true? I may not want to admit this, but what I do have is actually enough because it's taking care of me. Now, I know as soon as I go home from this broadcast and I'm, going to add up my little bills, including my expenses for doing what we're doing here right now and say, hey, well, but God, I don't have enough. But from God's point of view, it's going to say, well, let's check this out. Let's see. You're 52 years old. You're still here. You're still existing. I've taken care of you every single day of your life. Watch this. One slice of bread at a time. When being instructed on how to pray, we learn to pray, give us this day our what? Daily bread. Bread that is given to us on daily provision. I may not want to admit it, but my daily provision is actually enough. What God has given to me every day has sustained me for that day. When I look at my bank account, what I'm really saying when I say I don't have enough for what I foresee tomorrow. I don't have enough for what I see, next Wednesday. I don't have enough for what I see 6 months down the road. I want to buy a new house. I want to get a new car. I want some new clothes in the closet. I don't have enough to fulfill those desires of what I want on those days that have not yet even arrived. God's saying, my commitment to you is daily provision for every day. Here's the teaching point here. When a man is driven by his possessions to the place where he simply wants more, not because it's actually required, but it's because I want it. It doesn't matter if you have $1,000 in the bank or you have $1 million in the bank. It's not a comparison on who has more money. It's a comparison of the attitude. With the money that you do have, don't let what you have drive you to the demand for more. Greed is the great enemy of life.